Okay, welcome back. Let's talk blades, because that's what we're into. Today I have something a little bit interesting for you. Today I got for you the Bird Cara Cara 2. Yes, it is a Spyderco. You've seen this. It's very similar. You've seen this in my first video with the Endura 4 model as the comparison video. But this one is not my knife. This was actually lent to me by a good friend, a supporter of the channel. And he wanted me to do a review on it, simply because this is not a knife that I own. And the reason why I say that is because this Bird Cara Cara has something different than the actual Cara Cara that I have. And that is the Emerson hook. Of course, you can probably already tell by looking at it. That's this thing right here. And what that is for is when you pull it out your pocket, it waves open, waves open, and it deploys right as you pull it out the pocket. Now you have to have it all the way up to the seam of your pocket when you do it, and when you pull it out, you have to pull it out real fast, and it'll come out deployed, thus being the wave feature. It's a pretty decent gimmick. If you want to look into that, I'm going to do another future video on Emerson knives. The one that I'm carrying right now, it's actually a pretty nice one, and that's this guy right here. And this is my Southern Grind Bad Monkey, and as you can tell, it has the wave as well. But that's a whole nother video for a whole nother time. So that's kind of a little preview of what I'm going to be doing. Now this knife, it's thin. The blade itself is thin. Look at how thin that is. It's pretty thin. That's like paper thin almost. I don't normally do this, but I want you guys to understand how thin this thing is. Okay, so 1.4. It's pretty thin. The blade stock. And it is FRN handles, and it is bidirectional patterning on here. As you can kind of tell by the light, it's kind of going this way on this side and this way on this side. And you can tell just by looking at it. And it has the kind of like a very reminiscent Spyderco feature where it has the name in the middle of the handle. It's kind of nice. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys are wondering how much it weighs. We'll check that out right now. All right, 3.4 ounces. So yeah, it's pretty light. It's one of those light knives. Now, if you want to carry something like this, it's up to you. If you want to go about legalities, it's probably not something you want to carry, but if you're walking home late at night, or if you're in a very sketchy part of town, this knife can probably give you a little bit of confidence, knowing that when you pull this knife out of your pocket, it's going to catch that hook, and you'll be able to defend yourself rather than fumbling around for the one thing that you wanted to protect yourself with. Would I recommend this kind of knife? Well, that just depends on how much you're willing to spend. This knife is under 40 bucks. You can find it on Amazon. It's still there. It's still pretty new too. Now, everyone knows how much I hate this, but I want you guys to know, and you already know this, every time I get a Spyderco, the problem with the Spyderco under a certain price range is the pocket clip. Now you can see that lip right there, right? You can see that. That's raised pretty high, which means it might have the tendency to catch on stuff. So, and I have this bad luck with specific knives, especially Spyderco knives. I love Spyderco. They're one of my favorite knife companies. But I would have to take this pocket clip off, bend the lip down, in order for that not to be so out there, intrusive, whatever you want to call it. I just don't like that getting caught on stuff. Of course, it's a great knife for what it is. Of course, it's the it's the spine, the back lock feature. Has that kind of like a teardrop kind of shape too. The opening instead of the spider hole from the Spyderco. Half serrations, which is these teeth down here. And yes, it is 8CR13 MOV steel. You can see that right where it says bird. And yes, it is a China production. Am I happy about that? Well, a lot of good things come out of China. So I'm not going to say too many bad things about knives coming out of China. I mean, there's a lot of good knives that I have that come out of the Taichung China factory, and they're Spyderco, and they're amazing stuff. The fit and finish is great. Now, you're probably wondering if there's anything with the liners. Yeah, there's steel liners in there. Oh, come on, focus for me. There it goes. Yep, you can see them. Steel liners. Forgive me, I didn't get a chance to clean these. I need to remember to do that. But you can see that the steel liners in there are milled out for weight reduction, which is great. I love that. Love it, love it, love it. And let's see the length on this bad boy. Yeah. So yeah, close to about a 4-inch blade. Now the cutting length I want to say is about 3.5. Yeah, about 3.5. Oh yeah, 3.5, and then overall length from the tip to the end is about 8.5 inches overall. Kind of wide, but that's up to you if that bothers you or not. When it's sitting in the pocket, you're going to have this much taking that up, and then whatever else, however much more room you're going to have left for your cell phone, plus keys and pocket change, whatever. My overall thoughts on this knife, it's a great knife. I really think it's one of those kind of knives that it's really gimmicky because of this. But I own a few Emersons myself, so it's not like I don't like it completely. Now let's see how it cuts. This is something new that I wanted to try today. I know I haven't added it in my last few videos with knives, and I apologize for it being a little bit lacking, but I'd like to show you guys how this cuts, assuming that my buddy has been taking care of this knife. Pretty sharp. And I'm not going to say too many bad things about certain, knife like this. This is a pretty decent knife model. Ooh. Okay. It's a little bit difficult. I've never actually tried cutting under a camera before, so angling everything is just a little bit off. I apologize for that. But yeah, this knife is hung up that time. This knife is relatively sharp. Another, see how the tip is right here. Yeah, that's pretty sharp. Okay, well, there's the paper. And I even have something a little bit different for you guys today. I even have rope. Yes, rope. Now, assuming that this knife is sharp enough to cut this thing. Yeah. Yeah, that'll do it. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I didn't, because I hit the table at that point. I'm trying to make sure I didn't cut anything. Oh, okay, I just nicked the paper. Well, I'm good with that. I don't care about that. Alright, so, yeah. This knife is pretty dang sharp, considering that it was lent to me by a friend of mine who actually uses his knives. I use mine, but he kind of uses his just a little bit more rougher than I do. And it's pretty sharp. So, on Amazon, like I said, this thing goes for about like under 40 bucks. It's up to you guys whether or not you guys want to check that out. But anyways, that's what I got for you today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Laters.